Okay, let's try this again. This is take two. I'm not quite sure exactly what happened there, but I think we're all set and good to go now. So welcome. Hi, I am Kate McShay. Welcome to today's Daily Dose of Awesome. I am here. I'm filling in for Fernie Ceballos today. So if you can pop on, let me know who you are and where you're coming in from, so that I can share some extra wisdom with you today. From LA. We actually just finished up our Fast Track to Freedom workshop yesterday. Okay, cool. Everybody's popping on. Awesome. Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened just a second ago, but pop in. Let me know who you are, where you're coming in from. Hey, what's going on, Jenny? We finished up our LA Fast Track to Freedom workshop yesterday. Absolutely amazing time, and I'm here to share with you a little bit of wisdom that reminded me of something pretty special on how to acknowledge and know when the hustle that you're doing is actually stopping you from having some success inside of your business, okay? Or having success inside of your life in general. And so I will be doing that by talking about the lunar eclipse that, if we go like this, you guys can see it. I'm not sure if it's actually there yet. It's pretty close here. So hopefully we get a chance to see it. But it brings me to a point of about 2 years ago, okay? And what's going on, everybody? I'll give you guys shout outs at the end. About 2 years ago, I became aware of something, okay? And I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but I was on a walk, okay? It was about 2 years ago. I was working really hard in my business. I called it lunar eclipse, solar eclipse. Darn it. All right, I'll have to edit it. It would make sense, right? Lunar eclipse with the moon. Wow, I guess it was a really busy weekend at the Fast Track to Freedom workshop for me. Had a little bit of a blonde moment there. The solar eclipse. So, I was working a lot. About 2 years ago, like a lot of time. And if you're one of those people where it's like the hustle is real right now, and you're at that place of where, you know, you're working, whether it's full-time with your regular job, and then you're also working part-time on this business, right? That side hustle business. And it feels like you're working like 14, 16-hour days. Drop a 1 in the comments and let me know, because I was working a ton, right? And all of a sudden, I was walking my dog, and I looked up, and I realized that I hadn't paid attention to the sunrise in years. That it was the weirdest thing that I looked up, and there was this beautiful sunrise as I'm walking Marley in the morning, right? Trying to do my daily routine, getting into that hustle mode, knowing that I've got to, you know, work super hard. I'm totally dedicated into business, strictly just focused in on business. And then all that happened is I looked up and I went, oh my gosh, what a beautiful sunrise. And I actually started crying. And I started crying because what I realized was that my focus was so strong and so focused in on, and let me know if this has ever happened to you before. If it's happened to you before, drop a 2 in the comments. That the focus is so strong on business and our drive for what we're doing and why we're doing the things that we do, that I stopped recognizing and I stopped acknowledging the important, beautiful things in life, like a beautiful sunrise, or, you know, it might be for you, it might be your babies, right? The laughter of your kids. It might be the laughter of your grandkids. It might be just taking a step back and breathing in that fresh air, or enjoying the solar eclipse and getting outside and how do you say it? And truly witnessing something miraculous, right? And even just as much as it is as a sunset or as a sunrise, the miraculous side of just the world in general. And so what I wanted to just talk to you about today is, how do you actually make that happen? How can you incorporate that into your day? And how can you become aware of what's so important to not miss, right? What's so important to take the time to, like you said, Robert, to have fun, right? Not to miss the little things. And how to identify when there's times on where things need to be done, and how do you still get a chance to actually enjoy the good stuff, right? So here are my suggestions to you, and here's what's worked for me. So when it comes to business, and when it comes to creating a schedule for business, and if you're anything like me, and if you are, drop a 3 in the comments. Business almost becomes your life, right? It becomes this passion. It becomes your mission in life, and it's almost one of those things that I know I think about all the time. It's constantly going on in my head, right? It's constantly something I'm always thinking about. So if that's you, drop a 3 in the comments. And what's going on, everybody? Super excited to have you here. So for me, it's all about how I structure my day. It's all about how I do what I do. So one thing I would highly suggest, even if you're working full time, with your full time job, and you're doing this as a part time thing right now, what I highly suggest is having work hours, okay, and dedicating work hours and work time to your day. So for some of you, that might mean just an extra 30 minutes. An extra 30 minutes in the morning. It might be an extra 30 minutes in the evening, or you might have office hours from 12 noon to 4 p.m. And then what I also suggest is that you actually schedule in family time and friends time. And during that time, turning off your business brain, right? And what I mean by that is starting to become aware and starting to acknowledge the fact that thinking about business all the time to the point of like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that, actually isn't healthy, right? And so during those family times, during those friends times, my challenge to you is to acknowledge the beautiful things, right? So the solar eclipse that's happening here, right? I'm out here for a reason. I'm going to enjoy it. We might even be able to experience it together a little bit. And having that connection with other people is so important, and experiences are so important. And one of the things that I would suggest is how you can do this, and how you can make sure that it's absolutely critical, especially like Heather said, when working from home, is to make sure that you schedule in that time. Like literally put it in your calendar. I put in me time into my calendar every single day, because I know that we live this life, we do these businesses, we impact the people we impact because the world is worth living in, right? It's worth being in a place of where we can actually be in awe of it. So let's make sure that we save that time to be in awe of it and appreciate those things. And the last part that I would suggest that's really helpful when it comes to this kind of stuff, and then we'll see if the solar eclipse, not lunar eclipse, that I put in the description, then hopefully maybe we get a chance to experience that together, which would be really cool. So the last way of, because you might be thinking, well, how do I do it, right? How do I actually enjoy this world that's worth living in, right? How do I continue to keep experiencing and just loving this world and building this business that allows me to see that? Well, one thing that I would suggest is each day or each week, just check in with your journal. If you don't have a journal, I highly suggest getting one, because any life is worth documenting. And so what I would do is, the one question I would suggest that you ask yourself in that journal, if you're one of those people where it's like the hustle is real and you're starting to realize that you really don't ever have that time to be present in the moment, then I would ask yourself this question, okay, for like the next 7 to 14 to 30 days, in your journal every single night before you go to sleep. What's one thing I did today to enjoy this wonderful world? Or what's one thing that I did today to be present and in the moment? And if you can do that, and you can ask yourself that question, and you can answer that, you'll start to condition yourself to address and be aware of the things that are out there and the things that are powerful. So it might be, what's one thing that I did, or one thing that I witnessed? That's a good way to put it. What's one thing that I witnessed today that allowed me to be present in the moment? And it might be, I got to eat lunch with my kids, and like really eat lunch with my kids and enjoy eating lunch with my kids versus completely being on my phone and prospecting while they're eating. So that one question alone can spark your brain to have that solving factor of, well, how do I become present and in the moment? And that's the biggest thing for me, because again, as we're wrapping this up, and I'm going to flip over to the solar eclipse here in just a second so we can witness it and enjoy it together. The last thing that I would say is that this alone, if you want to avoid burnout, right? If you want to avoid getting into that space of just not enjoying life in general, then make that commitment to put that question in your journal and experience just one thing. Become aware of one thing that's allowing you to just enjoy life. And you know what? Let's do this. Comment in one thing that you have witnessed today that makes this world so wonderful. All right? I want you to comment in one thing that you've been present to today, like truly, truly present to, that has allowed you to enjoy this wonderful, wonderful world. All right? So that's something that I would suggest for you and I would encourage you to do. So with that being said, I'm going to switch this over. Let's see how we're doing here. Can you guys see it? Oh, I can zoom in. See, we're cloudy here, so it's still pretty sunny. Almost there. Almost there. Nothing yet, darn it. I can somewhat see it. Oh, that's awesome. All right, so while I switch over here and we enjoy that beauty of the solar eclipse, I'm just going to pop back and I'm going to go through. I'm going to give you guys some shout outs before I wrap up this Daily Dose of Awesome. Quite a few of you on today. I know we got Jill, Samuel, Chaz, Robert, Jenny, Carrie. Everybody give a huge shout out to Carrie Hyam too. She helped immensely. She's actually a facilitator in training for our Fast Track to Freedom workshops, and she did a ton this weekend and was an absolute amazing asset to our team, and it was super fun to watch her train. So give a whoop whoop shout out to Carrie. Awesome. All right. Hey Heather, what's going on, you guys? Hey Christy. Hey Julie. Hey Dawn. Hey Gloria. Hey Jill. Hey Kim. And let's look at all of these beautiful moments that you're experiencing. Let me see. Having coffee with my wife this morning. So cool. The beauty of the huge lake I live on. So grateful. Walking with my neighbor this AM and got totally drenched. It was so refreshing. That's so cool. I love it. The beauty and amazement of God's creation. Very, very cool. Having breakfast with my adult daughter and live chatting with my youngest daughter 16 miles away. Awesome. All right. Well, you guys are amazing. Go enjoy the solar eclipse. Be present in the moment and ask yourself tonight before you go to sleep and write it down, because imagine what it's going to be like 30 days from now when you're going back through your journal and you're having a chance to actually see all of the beautiful things that you've been able to witness in your life. I know that will create those moments of remembering the reason that life is so special and life is so important. Okay, so with that being said, I challenge you to write in your journal tonight what's one thing that I was present to today that allowed me to enjoy this wonderful world. And I love and appreciate every single one of you. And I'll see you next time I'm on Daily Dose of Awesome. Take care, everybody.